Welcome back everyone to more of our custom career mode and career experience. And in today's video, we're headed to Dover in the Cup car. But before we get too caught up in that, we've got some other things to take care of. We need to head over to our dirt midget team. We need to run some races there. But even before we get to that, we need to hop over to series number 5, which is our super late model program on asphalt. And we need to talk about something that happened in our last video that you guys probably picked up on right away, but I had a lot of things going through my head at that time, and for whatever reason, did not realize it when it happened. So we were signing our number 4 driver, okay, our 4th driver to fill out our full roster in the Asphalt Super Late Model program. And when we were signing a driver, we hopped over to the home screen. I did the refresh and we did a copy paste on the driver, but I didn't realize it at the time, but we didn't get the right driver. So let's scroll over and you can see I've made the correction now. Sammy Smith is who we were supposed to be signing, but at the time it actually doubled up on Stephen Nasse, and that messed everything up from a race generation perspective, but hey, we're going to go with it. I've made the correction. We got Sammy Smith in here now. We have 2 level 16 drivers, 2 level 17 drivers, and everything is all good. Now, I'm not going to go back and try to regenerate the race finishes from last time. We're going to simply go with what happened. It's not a huge deal. So, how that happened? Well, there's a few different ways that could happen, but essentially, I wasn't paying close enough attention. I was a few steps ahead at that point in thinking about generating some sponsorships. I was thinking about generating race finishes, and I simply did not realize what happened. So we've got everything finished here. So while we're here, let's go ahead and generate a few more race finishes. So we're ready for race number 13 and 14 on the season at a few tracks that will be very familiar for those of you who are NASCAR fans. So we need to generate a total of 4 finishes, and I believe, yes, we're going to need to generate another marketing level. So we'll get to that here very shortly. The first thing we're going to do is generate some finishes. Now remember, we have 2 level 16s and 2 level 17s. So what I'm going to do is use 16 and 17, and then I'm going to use 21 and 22. So let's see how this works out. Once again, F9 to refresh. So we've got 7, 11, 9, and 10. Okay, I like that. I mean, we were all together. I mean, when you're talking about a 4-car team, when they're all finishing this close together, that's how you know the equipment must be the same. So 7, 11, 9, and 10. Let's go ahead and fill those in. 9 and 10. There we go. So a couple of 11th place finishes for Stephen Nasse, driver number 2 in back-to-back races, but overall, not too bad. Now, we're certainly not reeling off victories here, so our paydays are not huge, but they're nice and consistent. So our average finishes are looking very good right now. So before we get over to generating a new sponsorship offer, let's go ahead and get that last race generated. So again, 16, 17, 21, and 22 is what we're looking for. Oof. Oh, I don't like that finish at all. Bubba Pollard did not have a good day at Richmond. So 32, 11, but then we get our very first, well, I'm almost positive is our very first win in the super late model. So we got 32, 11, 1, and 18. So let's go ahead and get those in there. 32, 11 again, 1, and 18. But you guys know what that means. But before we get to the damage, let's take a look. Is this our very first win? It is. In race 14 of the season, we get our very first victory, and it was from driver number 3, Carson Quapple. So very good. Carson Quapple gives us our very first team victory. So now let's deal with a couple of things. We're going to come back to the sponsorship, but we have Team 1 had some serious damage here. So let's see how much damage they had. So once again, we're looking over in this column. In this case, Team 1, we're looking right here. So I'm going to go ahead and refresh. And whoo, okay. So it stayed at a 1. All right, I can handle that. So only one team had damage, so we only have 25% to put in there. Let's go ahead and grab our driver's salary for those 2 races, fill those in. Okay, overall, not too bad, but remember, we have to generate another sponsor. So we've got a few more races here on Team 1. We got several races here on Teams 2 and 3, but we do need to generate for Team 4. So let's go ahead and let's see what we got. So remember, we're looking for upper 40s. Mid to upper 40s is what we're looking for, and we're not going to get it. All right, this is where the randomness between the min and the max just is not working out in our favor. It's worked out very well right here. We had a great offer there and some decent ones along the way. They were at least north of 40, but here, not so much. I mean, we've got 17 and 18 here. In these, we immediately X through those. We don't want those. 26, still not where we want to be, but it looks like Bungie is our best shot. So let's go ahead and grab them. So we'll do a little copy paste here. So yeah, not what we were looking for, but we're going to go with it because while Bungie certainly didn't give us quite the amount that we were hoping for, somewhere in the mid to upper 40s would have been nice, but hey, that's the beauty of the random generation of the sponsors. And one of the things I love so much about this, it keeps me on my toes. It's never the same twice. So let's go ahead and scroll across now that we have our race finishes in, as well as our sponsorships taken care of, at least for a couple of races. We hop over and see that we made a profit of $92,000. This is where all of our profits are coming from right now, the Super Late Model Series. Even with a bit of damage here. Without that damage, we'd have been north of 100,000. And you can see we've only been there, what, twice before? And one of those was a special event, maybe 3 times before, with the special events taken into account. So everything looking good here. Some nice money earned. Let's hop back over to the home screen and see that we are now $356,000 in the bank. That's not a lot when you're running race teams, but we'll take every dollar we can get. So now we need to move over to Series 7 and take care of some dirt midget racing. So we got started last time. We picked up our very first chassis, got our team started, and signed our very first driver, which is Kaylee Bryson. And boy, did she have some great finishes. We've got some good sponsor money coming in for a very long time. Several races there, and we got our very first win in the midgets as well. So Kaylee Bryson is off to a hot start. Let's see if she can continue that. Now, the midgets and really anything on the dirt side of things, they run a lot of races. So yeah, a season is very long for them. In fact, 50 races is what I will consider a partial season. You can easily get up into 60 or 70 or more, depending on how aggressive you want to be at making different events across the country. But for us, since we got a little bit of a late start, we're going to go with 50 races this season. So we're going to go ahead and generate a couple of race finishes, and one of these is going to be a special event. All right, so just as a quick reminder, Kaylee Bryson, we've upgraded her. She's now a level 26, and let's generate a couple of race finishes. So level 26, I'm going to press F9, and we got, a third place finish. Again, she continues to impress. So third place and then 12th. Okay, I will take that. Third and 12th is definitely nothing to sneeze at. So we started off with 3 top 5 finishes. Then we drop off a little bit to 12th, but I am still very excited. In fact, what I'm most excited about is our third place finish was the special event. So that's some nice money there. Almost $3,500. Of course, we got our sponsorship amount there. Let's hop over to the driver's salary. We'll go ahead and get those numbers in. And there you see it. A profit of 15 grand and 13 grand for them. Now, my interest here, you might be wondering, okay, if we're trying to make money and work our way through the different series, then why would you go with a lower tier series like the midget car that don't really pay all that much? This series is not about making money. This series is about our future plans that we've talked about a little bit with these 3 drivers and some other drivers along the way. But in the midget series, I'm interested in signing these 3 drivers, and we're going to bring them up through the ladder system. How far will they go? Well, we'll just have to find out and see how well they do. We're going to have some fun with this. But so far, Kaylee Bryson is well on her way to attracting an offer to a higher tier series. But again, that's just a little bit into the future. For right now, we're in our very first season, and she is off to a strong start. Now, at this point, we could be thinking about expanding and all sorts of things in here, but I want to hold off a little bit. Well, correction, I don't want to hold off. What I really want to do is go ahead and expand. However, I'm trying to hold off a little bit because as we make our way back around to series number 1, which is the NASCAR Cup Series, I am saving up some money so that we can purchase another chassis. Okay, not expand the team just yet, but I want to purchase another chassis for next season. So that's kind of what I'm holding off. And we're going to need about 550 grand roughly for that. So I'm holding off for that purchase. And if you were not with us before, yes, I'm aware 550 grand is not what it shows right here, but there's more than just the chassis in this initial cost here. So you'll see whenever we move up to a second chassis, you'll see how the numbers change a little bit there. But that's what I'm saving up for a little bit, and then that will prepare us for season 2 in the Cup Series so that we can expand out and not just run some of the bigger tracks. We can expand out and probably run some short tracks as well. Or who knows, maybe we will use that second chassis for the super speedways. Who knows what we might do with it. We've got a lot of options. But for right now, after running today's races, we're sitting here at $384,000. Now that is going to be just enough to cover us in case we have some damage. Not full total chassis damage, but a little bit of damage. So let's talk about Dover for a moment. Dover in the Cup cars is a lot of fun, but Dover is very tight. It is very fast. There's a lot of on throttle time. I love the high side at Dover. And by high side, I mean generally against the AI, we're talking second groove, maybe third groove, depending on how the racing goes. But it is very tricky running side by side at Dover because you're on the throttle so hard and so often that it is very easy to get crossed up and cause a huge wreck. We've seen it before at Dover, but if we see it in this race, let's just hope we're not part of it. Welcome everyone to Dover Speedway, and this place is simply amazing. It's one of those tracks that is very unique without really trying to be unique. A lot of times you get into some gimmicky type things from a track when they try to be a little different. Not Dover. Dover is just simply unique in every way. The banking is huge. Even on the straightaways, it's intimidating. Look at those stands. Appreciate everybody coming out. People everywhere. Let's hope we're going to put on a good show today. AI skill spread, 70 to 100. We're going to try to let these guys figure it out the first few laps. We're going to be in no hurry, but that high side is where I'm going to want to be. I just don't know when I want to be there. Do I want to go up there now? Or do I want to try to get to the bottom? Quite sure, but I do want to be on top. Whoa, car is a little bit of a handful right now. I like it. All this dirty air is making this thing a handful, so let's just try the high side. So we got 30 laps. Oh, look out, they're trying to wreck up here. I mean, they really want to wreck. Best thing for us is that's a few free spots, so we'll take that. But just trying to be just patient right now more than anything. 30 laps is not very long, but it's still plenty of time for us to get to where we want to be with whatever speed we might have for today. I did take some time to work on the setup. This thing is going to be loose.
Got one inside.
But just trying out some different things, trying to see how I can get this thing to be fairly free at the beginning of a run without getting too loose.
Stay high.
The eternal challenge is trying to find long-term balance.
Clear inside.
Oh, look at that 23. He is all over the place. Corner entry, he was very loose. I feel your pain. Been there, done that.
Inside.
Oh, wow. Big moment there behind the 21. Don't know if maybe the 21 had a big moment as well. But either way, the 23 was not having fun on corner entry. So again, just trying to be smooth here. We're making up some spots. We're now in the top 20. All right, things start to spread out a little bit. Let's see what happens. Again, no reason to get excited. We'll see what we got. We're only on lap 7. But the excitement in these races, with the way the tire wear works, the excitement in these races really happens from about lap 17, 18 on. Once the tires are really gone, as far as that initial grip that they had, by that point they're done. Your tires are done, and we're going to see what kind of balance and speed you've got over a longer run.
Got one inside.
Look out, 3 really charging the corner hard, but then he slows down a lot mid-corner.
Clear.
So anything he's gaining on quarter entry, he's giving back mid-corner. Yeah, the dirty air is very apparent here. Because in clean air, you can really charge the corner with maybe just a little bit of brake. You can keep it right around the bottom and make some very fast laps. But when you get all bunched up like we are here, you just have to take whatever air you can get and whatever grip you can find.
Inside.
But once again, I'm just going to stay up here in this second groove. Ooh, look out. Like Denny Hamlin had a moment.
Keep high. Clear.
All right, finishing up lap 12. And we are still moving forward.
Clear inside. Got one inside.
That crossover point for us is the point where we stop moving forward and the AI start coming back to us and passing us on the long run. That's our crossover point. And hopefully we are pushing that farther and farther back as I continue to work on this setup and get it as well balanced as I can. But this thing is just going to wear on that right front tire anyway. I mean, Dover is just, well, with all the banking and the speed, you're going to be leaning on that right front pretty heavily. Just try to balance it out as best you possibly can.
Still there. Still there. Clear.
All right, a couple more passes there on that lap. We are now in what position? We'll have to take a look here on the back stretch. We are in, 13th. All right, that's more cars than I thought we had passed. This thing has gotten pretty tight mid-corner. I'm going to try to back up the entry a little bit, see if we can help with that. But of course, a lot of that's just dirty air. Yeah, backing up the entry really helps. Trying to move up again to the second groove here. Now that we are definitely running these guys down. Maybe get a little bit of fresh air. Car's handling quite nice. Again, it is a little bit tight from the center
Got one
off.
inside.
Oh, look out, look out, look out. The wall reached out and tried to grab us on the straightaway. And that is definitely a thing.
Clear inside.
Alright, so that moves us up to 12th. So we'll see if we can't get an idea of how far we can go. Obviously, there is some open track in front of Kurt Busch. But I would love nothing more than to have an opportunity for a top 10. And right now, no, we're not going to take that bottom. I'd rather not get on that bottom and lose all of our side force on corner entry and risk taking both of us out, so I'll just stick to the high side. Alright, so that puts us in 11th. 10th is William Byron. So we got a little ways before we can catch him, so let's see what kind of pace we got. We'll take a glimpse here on the straightaway. We are 2.4 behind. And then we'll keep track of that over the next several laps and see if we're making any progress toward him or if he's pulling away from us. Because remember, we are 22 laps in. Now, full fuel run at Dover is a very long time. So this is just really a drop in the bucket. I wanted to get a little loose there on entry. I wasn't quite ready for that. Tight I was prepared for, but not loose. Alright, so he is 2.1, so we might be making up a little ground, but we're certainly not getting there in a hurry. And I'm not sure we got enough time to get there by the end of this race. That is one thing I like about the shorter races. As much as I enjoy longer races, the shorter races really put you in a crunch to get things done. I mean, there is no, we've got 400 laps here at this place to try to make passes, get to the front, all that kind of stuff. You don't have that. Whatever you got to show it because you got to get busy. All right, I do know that we're catching them now, because I can look out the windshield and see that he's getting bigger. But we're doing exactly what we need to do. Having some great runs so far. Steady finishes. We're not making very much money here in the Cup Series right now, but we'll address that later on. So far, it's been all about trying to get these other series, the team ownership side of things, up and running. We're catching him, but I don't know that we're going to catch him fast enough. But it does make me happy to know that here we are nearing lap 30, and we haven't hit that crossover point yet. We're still able to catch these guys, so I like it. 70 to 100 on the skill spread seems to be working pretty good for us here at Dover. Now, what would be really fun, and something we'll do in future seasons, is what happens if we start a little bit farther up in the field? 15th, like we've been doing in the past. All right, so we just got a few more laps here. And, we are so close. I mean, he's right there. just a little too tight on exit there. The last thing I wanted to be was loose at this place and chasing the back end around quite a bit. Overall, I have to say, the car is not too bad at all. The tightness is to be expected, and there are a few things I can do to help that. But again, you just don't want to get too loose at this place. Alright, so as we make our final couple of corners for today, you can look behind us and see that nobody is pressuring us. Austin Cindric is back there, but he's a few seconds behind, and we come home with a solid finish. So that will take care of today's race, 11th position at Dover. For our first season,
We'll get them next time.
starting last up to 11th, I will take that. I will definitely take that. Learn some things. I'll, again, take a look as we end today's video. I'll take a look at the tires and see if there's any tweaks I can make to the setup real quick and get ready for next time. But that will do it for today. Thank you guys so much for joining me, and stick around for more custom career mode and career experience.